And 9 people have been detained in Turkey in connection with a fire at a hotel that claimed the lives of at least 76 people and injured dozens more. Witnesses said no alarms went off when the blaze broke out early on Tuesday morning.
This is what's left of the luxurious Grand Kartal Hotel in Turkey's Kartalkaya ski resort. Witnesses say the fire broke out about 3:30 in the morning, when most of the over 200 guests were sleeping. They say it took firefighters almost an hour to arrive. By then, the blaze had spread to the upper floors of the 12-storey building without as much as an alarm sounding.
We smelled it. We went downstairs relatively early. I say relatively early because the alarm hadn't gone off yet. 2 floors were probably on fire.
Survivors say the building had no fire escape. At least 2 of the victims died trying to jump to safety from upper floors. Others tried to escape by climbing down knotted bed sheets.
They dangled down a sheet. Some were trying to get in, some were trying to jump out. Some had children inside, some had friends inside. We tried to take shelter in another hotel.
The tragedy unfolded when the resort was packed with holidaymakers making use of the school semester break. The hotel's hillside location hampered firefighters' efforts. As well as the fire detection system failing, it's been suggested the building's wooden cladding may have accelerated the fire's spread. In Ankara, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan offered his condolences to the victims' families and promised to bring those found responsible for negligence to justice.
Cooling efforts have begun regarding the fire, and an administrative and criminal investigation has been initiated regarding the cause. 6 public prosecutors and a board of experts have been assigned to this. All necessary steps are being taken to shed light on all aspects of the incident and to hold those responsible accountable.
Questions will now be asked as to how a tragedy on this scale could have occurred and what can be done to prevent a similar disaster from happening in another resort.
And we can get more now from DW correspondent Julia Hahn, who's following the story for us from Istanbul. So, Julia, we know that several people have been detained in relation with this. What else can you tell us at this point?
Well, maybe first a word about the victims. According to the latest announcement by Turkey's Interior Minister, the bodies of 52 victims have now been identified. 45 of them have been handed over to their families, and DNA tests continue to identify the remaining bodies. We know that school children and their families are among the victims because this disaster took place in the middle of a 2-week school break. So many parents went to Kartalkaya with their children for a vacation. The investigation into what exactly caused the fire is still ongoing. Authorities haven't released much more new information. We just know from yesterday that the fire likely broke out in the kitchen on the 4th floor of the hotel and quickly spread from there. But the authorities are now facing growing criticism over the hotel's fire safety measures. Of course, the hotel itself has pledged full cooperation, but we heard there from eyewitnesses, from survivors, that they haven't heard any smoke, any fire alarms, that they couldn't find the fire escape. So in Turkey, as we know, that's standard practice. Hotels have to get certification regarding their fire safety measures, and the authorities have to inspect those measures regularly. So the questions are, of course, what went wrong, who failed, and who is now to be held accountable. The Interior Minister said that 9 people have now been detained as part of the investigation, including the owner of the hotel. Another big question pertains to the fire department, because the fire teams arrived late at the scene, 45 minutes after the blaze broke out. The first emergency call came in because the nearest fire station was some 30 kilometers away. Just to give you an idea, here in Istanbul, for example, fire teams have to be at a location within 4 to 5 minutes. So the question is, of course, why does a popular ski resort with many luxury hotels, many with similar wooden cladding, wooden furniture like the Grand Kartal, does not have a nearby fire team. So as you can see, there are many questions out there demanding urgent answers.
And it is, of course, peak ski season in Turkey. You mentioned the school holidays. I mean, how are people reacting to, this really tragic event?
Well, today is a day of national mourning here in Turkey. President Erdogan had announced that yesterday. That means all over the country, flags are flown at half-mast, concerts, other entertainment events have been cancelled. There will be minutes of silence during many sports events for the victims. The same, of course, holds true for Kartalkaya, the skiing resort. Hotels nearby had to be evacuated yesterday, as we are being told, and the search effort at the Grand Kartal is still ongoing. So unfortunately, the death toll, might actually still increase. Now, this is, as far as we can say, likely to be a big blow to the tourism industry. The hotel fire, as you said, occurred during the peak winter season, with many families there from Ankara, from Istanbul and other cities. We have not heard any figures regarding hotel cancellations and the like. We did see some images of people continuing their vacation, continuing to ski yesterday, and that has caused quite a lot of criticism on social media here in Turkey. But I think overall it just shows how big of a shock this is, how deep the pain is, and how much anger there is out there regarding this disaster and how it could have happened.
Julia, we'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much for bringing us up to date. That's DW correspondent Julia Hahn.